Hello there, welcome back to grade 11 accounting. In this video, I want to look at the preparation of the creditors reconciliation. And the one question that we might want to look at, which is here, which is our question 6, according to this question paper. And it reads, Traders buys goods on credit from WS or sellers. So from this statement, we can see that Traders is the business that we are going to look at. So we are just going to assume that this is your business that you are operating. And then WS or sellers becomes your creditor or the business that you are buying from on credit. So this is your creditor. So next sentence is the information provided below is for July 2017. Very important to take note that it's for July 2017. So the required part we are going to do only 6.1, which says reconcile the creditors ledger account of WS or sellers in the books of traders with the statement are received. So remember, a reconciliation is prepared whenever there is a difference between the creditors ledger in our books as a business. In this case, we've got traders as the business. So in the books of traders, that's where we are going to have a creditors ledger whereby MS wholesalers account is going to be opened. So the closing balance in the account of WS wholesalers in traders books should be the same with the statement of account that WS wholesalers is going to provide to trader. So basically what we are saying, we've got two documents that are there. We've got the creditors ledger, and then we've got the statement of account coming from the supplier, which is WS wholesalers. So the final balances in those two documents should be the same. So if there is a difference between those final balances, then there's a need now to prepare a creditors reconciliation. So in the case that the balances and the final balances are the same, there's no need for us to prepare the reconciliation because remember what is in the creditors ledger should be seen on the statement of account that is coming from the supplier. So if final balance are the same, it means the elements that are in those two documents are the same. But there might be a necessity or further investigation in terms of some of maybe there are errors that transpired that are making the balance to be the same. But when there are errors that are there, where we can do further investigations in terms of any other or maybe there is an omission in terms of a transaction that was not entered in the two documents that were supposed to be there. So there will be need to do some further investigation. So this is what we have with them. So at the end of the day, you'd see that what you are going to see on the credit side of the creditors ledger in our books should be the same with if we debit the creditors ledger, the supplier will be crediting the statement of account. So this is what we have. And then the opposite is true. If we credit in our creditors ledger, the statement of account will be debited. So basically, that's the scenario that we have. So if you go to the information that we are given there, you are going to see that this is our creditors ledger for WS wholesalers in the books of trader. So you'll see that we've got a final balance that we are having here. That is the balance that we are saying. We compare it with the balance that we are having for the statement. This is now the statement of account. We compare it with this balance. So if they are different, like this one, we've got 28,870 for the statement, and then we are having 25,450 for the ledger. So we've got a difference that is there. So there's now a need to prepare a a reconciliation, that is a creditors reconciliation. So this is what we have, and then what also we are trying to explain is what we are seeing on the credit side of this creditors ledger, which is here. If you come here, what is on the credit side should be on the debit side of the statement, and what is on the debit side of the ledger should appear on the credit side of the statement. So that's how we make the comparisons. So we can now go to our information that we are given there and try to see what further information are we given in the question. So let's just try to see. So coming now on the further information that we are given in terms of additional information, see, it reads when reconciling the statement of account from WS or sellers with the creditors ledger, the bookkeeper notes the following differences. So these are the differences that we want to go through and we correct them. So we are going to see that we are going to pick these differences, and then we go to where we are supposed to correct. If we are supposed to correct both the ledger and the statement, we also do that. Let's look at the first one, which is saying invoice number 443 was recorded incorrectly in the creditors ledger. So this one is very, very straightforward. It means the invoice was incorrectly recorded in the creditors ledger only. So we are going to correct the creditors ledger. So we go to the creditors ledger and try to see the figure that we have for invoice number 443. So we are here. 443, we have got 4,770 as an invoice, which is on the correct side. It's supposed to be on the credit side. And then we go to and check invoice 443 on the statement, which is now being said is correct. We see that invoice 443, having it here, and it's an amount of 7,740. So it means this figure is the one which is correct. This one is wrong. So it means we entered a smaller figure in the creditors ledger. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to add this figure of 4,770, and it comes to the correct figure, which is 7,740. So we need to know now the difference between the two by saying 7,740, and then we subtract 4,770 to get the corrected figure, which is now going to be, let's try to calculate now. When you say 7,740, and then you subtract 4,770, and then you are going to get your 2,970. So it means the difference is 2,970. So this is the amount that we are supposed to add to this figure so that it goes to the correct figure of 7,740. So obviously we are going to end on the credit side. So also we are supposed to know that this is our credit side of the credit side of the ledger, and then this is our debit side. So when we enter on the credit side, we should indicate on the adjustment side it should be a plus. On the debit side, it should be a negative. So in this case, we are crediting. We are going to add a 2,970 at this side. It's supposed to come here and add into the figure that we have there. And then when we enter on the credit side, we are adding. So we are adding. So we are going to the creditors ledger column on the answer book, and then we enter a plus 2,770. So we go there. We go to the answer section now, and this is our answer section. We've got the creditors conciliation, we've got the column for creditors ledger and statement from WS for sellers. So we are saying for A, the first correction, we are going to enter a plus 2,907 on the creditors ledger. So we also have the balances that we are supposed to put there. Remember, we've got our balances that we are having there. I think we indicated those balances whereby we're saying creditors ledger, we've got 25,450, and then we have for the statement we've got 28,870. So we are going to just enter those figures as they are. So we are here. We are saying our creditors ledger, we have got 25,450. And then for statement from WS sellers, we've got 20,870. So those are the opening balance that we are starting with. Then we go to the next information that we are given. So we can try to remove this. So this is our information. So we can now go to the second point. So we go to the next transaction, which says the statement did not reflect the discount for early payment on the 10th, and then this will be rectified on the next statement. So we've got the transaction is explaining that the statement is not reflecting the discount which was on the 10th. So we go there and try to see on the 10th. We start by the ledger, and we see that in the ledger, on the 10th there is a discount that is there, which is 750. And we try to see if it's reflecting now on the statement. We go to the opposite side, which is now the credit side, and we see that we only have 15,000 a year on the 10th, but 750 is not there. So we need to go to the credit side of the statement and put our 750. So in other words, we are supposed to have a 750, which is come on the credit side. And remember, on the statement, it's not the opposite like what we're doing on the ledger. So on the statement, we are going to have a plus on the debit and a minus on the credit, which is opposite to what we are doing on the ledger, whereby you're saying the ledger is a plus on the credit and a negative on the debit. So this becomes opposite of what we have uh, on the statement. So a positive on the credit, but when you come to the statement, it is on the debit, and then a negative on the debit. So this is what we have. So let's just try to see. So we are seeing that our entry is on the credit side. So we are going to the statement and then we effect a negative. So we go there and go to the other section, and we see that now we can now enter our 750 as a negative on the credit side. So here we are saying negative 750. Then we can go and try to see in terms of the next transaction that we have. So if you go to the next transaction, you'd see that it reads, we are now here. Remember, we've looked at this, so we are now here. It was discovered that invoice number 568 on the settlement, on the statement included goods valued at 1,000 ordered by an employee for his personal use. The employee has been proven guilty and is facing disciplinary action. The business is now responsible to pay this extra amount. So we can try to go back again and try to see what exactly is this explanation saying. It was discovered that invoice number 568 on the statement included goods valued at 1,000 rands ordered by an employee for his personal use. The employee is proven guilty and is facing disciplinary action, and the business is now responsible to pay this amount. So if you go to the statement, you'd see that let's try to see the figure that we will on the statement of invoice number 568, and then we compare it with what we have on the ledger. So if you come to the statement, you see that we are given invoice number 568, which is this one. It is given as 6,640. But if you go to the ledger, you see that that invoice is here. It's 568. It's 5,640. So you see that there's a difference that is there. So if you say 6,640, that we are having on this on the statement minus what we are having on the ledger is 5,640. So we subtract the two, you see that we are going to get a difference of 1,000. So this difference now shows that there are goods that were taken for personal use by one of the employees. That's why we are having a deflated figure there. A smaller figure was put because some of the goods were withdrawn by one of the employees. So what it means is we are supposed to end at the 1,000 that is missing, so that it reaches back to the same amount that we're having on the statement. Remember, we said what we should see on the statement should be the same as what we are seeing on the ledger. So we are going to put another 1,000 here, so that it goes back to we add the 1,000 here, so that it becomes 6,740. And when we add it on the credit side, it's a plus. So we are going there and effect a plus 1,000 under the column for credit ledger. So we are saying plus 1,000. So we can go and try to see again in terms of the next transaction that we are having there. So we have effected this one. So we can go to the next one, which is this one. We're saying goods valued at 900 rands were retained on the 18th. Goods valued at 900 rands were retained on the 18th. It is shown as a debit entry in both the creditors ledger account as well as the statement of account. So these are the retains that are there that are 908. Then if you go to the ledger, you'd see that when we purchase goods, we enter them on the credit side. But when we retain, we enter on the opposite side. That is debit side. That's why we're having 108 on the debit, which is correct. But let's check again in the statement to see that the 980 now is appearing on the debit, which is wrong. Remember, when we purchase on credit, and the supplier should enter it on the debit side, and then when there are returns, the supplier should enter on the credit side. So in this case, we're having 980 on the debit side. So what we are supposed to do is to put a 980 on the credit side, and it removes this one. Because if you say 980 plus 980, you're going to get a 0. And then when you after having done that, you are supposed to now enter the correct figure. So 980 is going to be entered twice on the credit side. So we are saying 980 times 2. You're going to get your 1,960. So it means you're going to have 1,960 on the credit side, and it's a minus. So it's a minus on the statement side. You go there, and we are saying minus 1,960. And then we can try to go to the next one. We are now on this item. You say invoice number 772 on the statement was an error made by WS or sellers. These goods are not purchased by MM traders. So it means these goods that are appearing on the statement of WS or sellers are not supposed to be there. They belong to another one of their customers, which is not MM traders. So what we are supposed to do is to remove them on the statement. So let's go and see the goods with invoice number 772 on the statement and remove them. So we see that we come now to the statement, and we are seeing we have got goods of 3,860. Let's just try to create some space there. So we have goods that we are having there of 3,860 of invoice number 772. They are supposed to be, so by removing them, we are supposed to enter on the credit side. So we'll enter on the credit side, it's a minus again. So we're going to say minus 3,860 in the other section. So we go there and go to the credits. So we under the statement, we are supposed to say minus 3,860. And then we go and see, I think we are now going to see, look at the last on the last point that we have there, which is that the statement was printed on 25 July 27. So what does it mean? It means the transactions that are transpired after 25 July are not captured on the statement because it was only prepared up to 25, of which the statement should be prepared up to the end of the month. So if you go to our ledger, we try to see all the transactions which took place after 25, but we are seeing that we have got only one, which is on the 28. It was number 67, 7,120. And so we are supposed to put this invoice on the statement because it's not there, but it's supposed to be there. So we take 7,120 and it's supposed to come to the debit side. To the debit side. And when you put on the debit, we are ending. So we are saying 7,000 plus 7,120 on the statement. So we come in. So we are saying, I want the statement, we are saying plus 7,120. So this is what we have. Then we can now make our adjustments there by adjusting what we have on the credit side. And we are supposed to say 20,870 minus 750 minus 1,960 minus 3,860 plus 7,120. And we get the final balance, which is supposed to be 29,420. We do the same thing to the creditors ledger, 25,450 plus 2,970 plus 1,000. Then we are going to get your 29,420. So this is what we have. So this marks the end of our creditors reconciliation in terms of our creditors ledgers column, and then the statement from WSO sellers as our supplier. So thank you for listening. Those who have subscribed, please subscribe and share. Let's meet again in the next video. As for this video, I'm signing out.